What's currently on my Kindle Unlimited library? Hi, my name is Chris and this is Lee Loves Books, where I primarily talk about indie romance books that I read on Kindle Unlimited on my Kindle Paperwhite. Now, I do own the Kindle Paperwhite 11 generation. I know there is more recent ones, but this one's still good. I've had Kindle Unlimited, I want to say since 2020. Month exactly I don't remember, but I know since 2020. And for those who don't know what Kindle Unlimited is, Kindle Unlimited is basically where you can borrow books. You pay a fee and you can basically borrow books from a whole list of catalogs in any genre that is enrolled in the Kindle Unlimited library thing. And it used to, when I first started, it was like $9.99. Now I think it's like 12, 11.99 or something, or 12, something like that. It's a more ethical way to support authors. If you read a lot, especially like me, you get to borrow. In the beginning, it was like 10 books at a time. Now it's 20. So I'm gonna go through the 20 books that I currently have. Some are already read, some I have just sitting there in limbo, and we'll get to it eventually. This one is All I Need by E. Salvador, and I think I've had this one on my library, I want to say since August or September of 2024. Now, the way Kindle Unlimited kind of works is once you are, you can only borrow the 20 books, right? When you try to borrow another one, it's going to tell you you need to return titles. And some titles I return because I'm like, it's fine, I'm not going to get to that. Other ones I still keep. So this one has withheld the test of time. I'm going to get to it eventually. From my understanding, this one is, brief overview, it's college romance. They had a one night stand when they were in, I think, like their senior year of high school. It was like a trip, if I'm not mistaken. Strangers, they don't exchange last names or anything like that. She ends up having the baby. She gets pregnant, she has the baby. It's like 2 or 3 years later, they somehow end up back on the same college. The MMC, he's a basketball player, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a captain or something like that. So it's kind of like a second chance, accidental pregnancy. Not really. I think some people have said it's a surprise baby or like um secret baby, but I don't know if that's the case. I haven't read it yet, but that's kind of the brief overview. Alistair by Jacqueline Osborne. Now this is the last book in the Sons of the Fallen series. This is a paranormal male loving male romance, and I devoured the first 6 books. But for some reason, I'm so scared to read the last one. And I've had this one in my library, I know for a fact, since September of 2024, because I binged the entire series when I was in Edinburgh last September for Rare Edinburgh. So that's how long I've had it. We'll get to that soon because it's like that. That's like 9 months now, right? Oh my god, yeah. I should definitely read it. This one again, it's a paranormal fallen angel. Well, they're like half fallen angel, half humans, but then they find their mates in humans. Cool premise because they have to like fight the actual like Lucifer and his demons and all that stuff. The angels are also not necessarily the good guys either. So it's a very interesting mix. Tie their life forces to their mates. So if either one of them dies, they both die together. So I guess that's cute in a way, in a morbid way. I don't know. It's a really good series. I would definitely recommend it, but I'm just terrified to read this last one. It's 7 brothers, so to speak. They're like not necessarily related to each other. They have, been forced together and raised together because they were like taken from their parents at a young age. They're the sons of fallen angels, so they're like half fallen angel, half human, but technically it's an angel too. I don't know. I have a whole mission as a secret plot. Well, and it's very intrigue. The last book, like I said, Alistair follows the head not necessarily the head honcho, but he like the leader of the fallen angel. His mate is an unlikely pair. But anyways, Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reed. Now this one, I managed to get it on Kindle Limited because I believe the author put it in there for a limited time. I just haven't gotten to it. This one's a hockey romance. It is like secret relationship, rivals to lovers. I think this is technically book 2 in the series, but it's the most popular one. And then they have another, like a sequel to it, but it's like later on in the series. The thing that puts me off is because I think for most of the relationship, they stay like hidden. I don't think they ever like come out to the public because I think their sequel is about them coming out to the public and one of them being hesitant or something like that. So that's usually not necessarily my vibe, but I'm gonna give it a chance. especially since now this is being, I think it's going to be turned into a TV show or a movie. One of those. It's coming to the film. Elevator Pitch by Ellen Lee. I think that's how you say her name. This one is very interesting to me because it is an interracial Korean MMC and a Black FMC. I think this is the author's debut novel, if I'm not mistaken, and this was kind of recommended to me by my friend Alicia, and it's just been sitting on my Kindle ever since it came out. I'm not gonna lie, or no, not since it came out. I think I downloaded it earlier this year, like sometime in January, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just been sitting there. I'm going to read it because the author has a second book that's coming out. I don't think that's is necessarily, it's not a sequel to this. It's not part of, I don't know if it's part of the universe. It's called Shadow Obsession. That one's like a little bit of like a dark romance or whatever. It's multicultural. The MMC, I believe, is like Afro, Latino, like Puerto Rican and Dominican, and then the FMC is Black, I believe. And there's like a whole, it's a lot of rich in culture. That's one things I love reading about diverse authors, specifically of authors that like kind of resemble my background in terms of being like Afro Latina and stuff like that. So that one's coming out in a couple of days, and we're gonna read it. But we're gonna read this one too eventually. Next is Patience by Lark Taylor. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what this one is about. This one is another MM pairing, and this one I believe it's more paranormal because it's like fated mates, reincarnation, and one of them, they get reincarnated, like I think one of them gets reincarnated like often. It's reincarnated and they're fated mates, but however one of them, the one who was reincarnated, doesn't remember him obviously, and he's straight. Now that I'm talking about this, I will probably read that this month. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds so good. Why have I been letting that just sit there? If Only in Our Dreams by Faye Quinn. I think I downloaded this during the holidays because it was like holiday kind of recommendation that I kept seeing floating around. This is another MM romance. I don't know why I never got to it, but we'll get to it eventually. It sounds good. I think we probably have to wait till we're in the holidays spirit again. Who knows? I may return it back and then re-download it later on. Boyfriend Goals by Riley Hart. This Riley Hart writes like really cute romances. Seems, I think, to be like kind of like neighbors to lovers type situation. Guy inherits a bookstore, and then next to the bookstore is a tattoo shop, and the tattoo artist, they're intrigued or whatever. It sounds very cute. I will probably read that this month too. The Rhythm to Her Heart by Rose Dior. Now this one, I think I saw it mentioned. I'm not sure if it was on a TikTok or someone's story. It sounds so intriguing. I still haven't gotten to it. Male, female pairing. And I believe he's a rapper. And obviously it's kind of like one of those like sweet, soft love. It seems like. I haven't gotten to it, but I will get to it. It's Complicated by Willow Dixon. This is an MM series. This is part of the Legacy Mechanic series. Willow Dixon writes MM, but like a lot of them are blue collar men, which I really enjoy. Like they're just everyday dudes. They don't have like a bunch of money, except for like one of the books. But one of the books, he ends up with like a rich billionaire, but he still was a, I think it was a stripper. I don't know. But this one follows, it's like it's idiots in love, two best friends that they have a threesome and then realize, oh wait, I'm actually attracted to you. Whoa. And then I think they hook up for a little bit, and then obviously things continue from there. Haven't read that one either. I think a lot of these I have not read. Oops. Voices by Joey Parker. This is a new to me author and a new to me series book. I think this one's angsty, if I'm not mistaken. I think one of them is kind of like a hockey romance. I don't know if they're both hockey players, but one of them is, and it seems to be angsty, and one of them's like really depressed and stuff like that. So I'm in an angstier mood. I probably will pick that one up. I have had that one since, I want to say it's like 2 months ago. Or a month and a half ago. It hasn't been this long. Make the Play by Lucky Heart. Now this is book 2 in the Kings of Heart series, which follows brothers with the last name King, so it's kind of a play on their last name. I did not read book 1. I don't think I was really interested in book 1 because sometimes the brother's best friend trope is kind of overplayed. Reading this one, I feel like I didn't miss too much. It was like a little bit more familiarity with the second book. But whatever. This one was really cute. It's an autistic English teacher who is new in town, new to the school, and he is befriended by the really popular football / PE coach, and they begin like a friends type thing. But then eventually Jason, who is the PE teacher / football coach, realizes that he is attracted to Emerson, and he's autistic, but he's also like high masking in his hometown, and he came here for a fresh start. It was like just being his true authentic self, and he knew that sometimes may turn people off, or he may come off as prickly, and that was not the case with Jason. Like he just totally accepted him. So it doesn't hurt that his brother is also neurodivergent. He is familiar with that, and he makes Emerson realize that there's nothing wrong with him. Absolutely nothing wrong with him. It's really sweet. It's cute. It's a little bit repetitive, I will say. I didn't mind that. I liked the slow burn of the friendship, you know, going from Emerson being like guarded, then him letting Jason in a little bit. It was super, super cute. The Sin Eater by Ona Lee James. This is book 2 in the Watch series. I love this one so much. I did read it. It was one of my favorites of May. Ona Lee James writes psychopaths really, really good, okay? This features the, if you've read the Necessary Evil series, this is a spin-off where in Archer's book where they have like a secret project with the government, basically to take these psychopaths that you know exhibit the signs of psychopathy at a young age. They take them. A lot of them are abandoned in an orphanage or foster care, so they take them and place them with affluent and rich families to grow up and eventually attend this program called the Watchtower. Now, Peyton is the classic psychopath to the T, and Boone is the headmaster. All of them, it's an age gap, but Peyton is over the age of 21. Okay, so he's perfectly legal. There's nothing weird about it, and it's not necessarily like it's a class. It's just one of those like them learning how to be operatives, and it was fun. In typical Ona Lee James fashion, it was very. Please Sparrow by K.M. Niehold. This was fun too. This is a mafia romance. It's an interesting dynamic because the mafia man is the one that is feared. He's the boogeyman, but he ends up being the submissive one in the relationship against his sparrow. The Legend Next Door by Jesse H. Rain. Now this one is book 2 in the Totally Pucked series, and this one's a lot of fun. This one's single dad, neighbors to lovers by awakening, but there's also a level of talking about grief because he's a widowed single dad, so it's not like he, you know, got divorced or anything like that. He actually lost his wife. There's like an element of that in the beginning, learning to kind of like deal with the grief and then moving on, right? And he becomes friends with his neighbor Jeremiah, and they go from there. It's so cute. Blitzed by, these are new to me authors. This is R.S. Mackenzie and Lee McCormick, I think. This one was fun. It was kind of like a little bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a dark romance, but it's like dark-ish. New adult college quarterbacks, rival quarterbacks, they hate each other. One of them kisses the other one because his ex-girlfriend behind his back went with one of his teammates. So to get back at her, he kisses his rival after their game, and the rival becomes obsessed. So lots of fun. And it's like kind of like it's a double by awakening, touch him and die, like literally. I know, so a lot of times in new adults, people they say that, but it's like, come on, please, really, a college kid? No, Tyrion really does prove touch him and die, or touch him and I beat you. That's what I'm gonna say. Sinful King by Asia Monique. This is book 7 in the Mafia Misfits series. It's a black mafia, so they are all of some type of descent. I have talked about this before on my channel. So they're Afro-Italians, Afro-Irish, Afro-Asian, Afro-Russian. So they do still have those ties to the mafia in terms of like the ancestry, Italian, Russian, Japanese, Irish, but they're also black. And that it goes to show you that there are black people that exist in those ethnicities and in those cultures. Because a lot of times when you read mafia books, you always picture white is the default. This series is here to prove to you that, yeah, sure, but there's also this side. This features Sean and Blair. They are basically kind of childhood lovers into adulthood. It's just basically them coming back together. They've been separated through distance because he was kind of like dealing with the family stuff that was going on, and she was, you know, trying to build herself to become like his second without him knowing. Yeah, it's a lot. Like Sean's back in New York City to basically ascend from the mafia heir, or mob heir, should I say, because they're Irish, mob heir to the boss. And there's a lot of things that he got to clean up. And, you know, he has this woman by his side, and they kicking asses and taking names. Expected Pass by Abe Blossom. This one, I saw this on a TikTok. I can't remember the creator's name. FMC, it's like an accidental pregnancy. The FMC becomes pregnant after hooking up with her client, but her client wants nothing to do with her and basically tells her to get rid of it. And she decides, no, I'm not going to do that. She decides that she's going to keep the baby, but then she decides to, I believe she goes to a friend of a friend's like party as like kind of like one last hurrah before, you know, she settles down, and she meets a football player. He decides that, yeah, that's who I want. I have not read this one yet. Is on, like, I literally just downloaded it a week ago. I'm probably going to read that in June. So it sounds really good. And it's a black romance. that's been my vibe lately. It's black romance and MM romance. Always Watching by Lee McCormick and R.S. Mackenzie. This one I feel like is a little bit more darker than their other one because it's a serial killer and a cam boy. The cam boy is being stalked, but not in a good way, and not by the serial killer. And the stalker basically accelerates and attacks him in his own home. And the cam boy's his name is Rannon, I believe, and then the serial killer, his name is North, and North is a subscriber and sees that something is wrong, and he's already like on his way over there. Fortunately, it's kind of a little graphic, it's because the beating is on page, but he gets there in time to basically kind of save him, and then reverse kidnaps himself to stay with him for his safety and also to just get close to him because he was like, I wasn't meant to do this, but now that I'm here, I'm gonna make him mine. So I think it was good. I was like in my head I was thinking like it's two people, like it could be either two people because he had a creepy landlord, because at first I was like, oh, it's a creepy landlord, but then other things started happening. I'm not gonna ruin too much, but then I was like, you know what, yes, the creepy landlord is creepy and he might be trying to like do something, but I don't think this is his stalker. I think it's this person, and I ended up being right. Okay. But it was very satisfactory how it ended. And then last but not least, Changing the Play by Morgan Sloan. This is a new to me author. I literally just downloaded this because it was kind of on my radar. I knew it was coming out, and it just came out, I think, May 31st, if I'm not mistaken. This one is another new adult jock nerd, but not that bad kind where the jock is like, you know, dumbbells for brains. Like, he actually is smart. He's just not grasping history, which I don't blame him. There's a lot of things to remember when you have history classes. His professor has a son who is great at tutoring, and, you know, they start a friendship. I literally only am like, I want to say less than 10% in. I literally just started it. Like literally an hour before I started filming this. So I think it's going to be a cute one. I am gravitating towards those like cute and fluffy romances. And then occasionally I want something that's a little toxic and a little depraved. But lately for the last, I want to say like probably like 8 months to a year, I've been wanting more like fluffy stuff. So it's probably because I like binged a lot of dark stuff. You gotta go with the tides. So yeah, that is what's on my Kindle currently. If you've read any of these, if you liked any of these, let's chat about it. But thank you so much for watching.